Okay, Ford, this time you better listen because you're going to have a little dollar bills, y'all, coming out of your pockets if you don't. Hey guys, welcome back to Hurstys Garage Plus Guns. And on today's video, this week we're going to be doing some class action lawsuits that are coming up for various vehicles. So this is going to keep you guys in the know, so maybe you can get some cash back on your stuff that has broken from no fault of your own. And today, specifically, we're going to look at the Ford water pump class action lawsuit that came out of New York City. And that involves that Ford Durotech V6 that those water pumps aren't doing too good, I guess. But let's find out exactly what we're talking about here and what vehicles years are actually covered and what vehicles are covered. And all that good stuff here. So let's dive right in. And we're looking at FordAuthority.com, and they were gracious enough to do some research on this. And let's see what they say here. Ford has faced its fair share of water pump woes over the past years, starting in 2019, when a class action lawsuit was filed over defective units used on certain Durotech V6 engines. Just a few months later, though, the lawsuit was dismissed by a judge. Thanks, buddy. How much you want to bet he didn't own one of those vehicles? But never fail. This past January, I guess, a similar class action lawsuit was actually certified in Canada, which means that it went through and it is actually a class action lawsuit that can be pushed through the courts now. Yay! So let's see what that entails, because this is important to the lawsuit that it was filed here in New York, because if that goes through, which it did in Canada, that means that it has a lot more merit for us here. So it's a good thing. And here we go. A lawsuit was filed by 3 plaintiffs from Canada, gained class action lawsuit status after the Ontario Support Court of Justice approved that status against Ford Motor Company and Ford Motor Company of Canada. Yay, Canada finally does something good and right. No, not to bag on Canada, guys, but come on. You know, if you watch my last video, you'll know that Canada is not kind of on my crap list, or should I say Justin Trudeau. But let's read on. However, many claims levied at the automaker were either altered or revised in the process. The suit itself claims that the defective water pumps are responsible for causing engine failures, primarily because the pumps themselves leak coolant into the other sections of the engine. So this is kind of going to be the same thing that is happening in New York. And what their vehicles that they cover are right here on screen, the ones that are in their little class action, and that is the Ford Eagle, or Ford Eagle. Come on, they don't make a Ford Eagle. Come on, Hurstys Garage. Ford Edge, Ford Explorer, Ford Flex, Fusion, Fusion Sport, Police Interceptor, the Interceptor Utility, Taurus, Taurus X, MKS. Well, you can read it on the screen here. You know, I'll let you read it. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of them here. But let's read on to the actual lawsuit in New York, the one that we're wanting to check out here. New Ford water pump class action lawsuit has been filed in the U.S. District Court for Western District of New York, according to carcomplaints.com. This new Ford water pump lawsuit is entitled Mark Militilio versus Ford Motor Company. I probably screwed that all up, as I always do on my channel. Names are not going to be pronounced right usually. usually. So sorry, Mark, it's just the way the old ball bounces here. It also pertains to vehicles equipped with the various Duratec V6 engine and alleges that Ford Motor Company has been aware of this problem for a decade. Come on, Ford, a decade? Really? You gotta be me, man. Really? Yet they haven't issued a recall or attempted to help customers repair their faulty parts or compensate them for repairs. Sounds about right from what we've heard from many of these manufacturers, that a lot of times they just do not do the right thing. And I know that they're out to make some money, but especially on this, yeah, just come on, guys. It's been a decade and you put out a crap freaking water pump and you're not helping people. Yeah, that just shame on you, Bard. Okay, the problem reportedly stems from premature failure of the internal chain-driven water pump, which should last about 150,000 miles. Yeah, I'm almost all my vehicles, the water pump has lasted the lifetime of the car since I've owned them. There's only been one, and it has been a Dodge. And that was, oh, let's see, this is going way back here. A Dodge Power Ram truck, and I think it was an 89, and I had my water pump fail on that. And yes, kiddies, I'm a little bit old. That's showing my age. Jeez. But these tend to stop working long before that in many cases. And that's why we're getting these lawsuits coming out here. According to the lawsuit details, defective unreinforced bearing oil seals used in the water pump allows coolant to leak across the mechanical seals and penetrate the bearing seals. Doesn't sound very good, does it? No, which contaminates and washes out the bearings lubricants. And if you know anything about engines, and if you don't even have to know a dang thing about engines, when you don't have any lubricant in parts that are moving together, creating a huge amount of friction, yeah, you take away that lubricant in there and it's going to go and then boom, boom, ah, we're all dying, and it's going to break on you. So, that's a Hurstys Garage little diagram of how things bust. So just remember that when you're going to explain that to somebody, and they'll probably think you're crazy, but you can blame it on me. So let's get back to what actually happens here. Since the water pump is in line with the crankshaft and located over the main body of the engine, it reportedly allows coolant to leak from the water pump into the oil pump. Bad, bad, bad. Making matters worse, mixed coolant and oil can lead to engine failure too. Yeah, so not only do you have a bad water pump and leaking all over the place, your coolant coming down, yeah, if it mixes in with that engine oil, well, there goes your engine. Hurstys Garage, what happens if coolant gets in the oil? Well, when coolant is mixed with oil, it depletes the oil's lubricating qualities and can cause your engine to fail. Thus, the coolant in the oil produces a light brownish fluid that resembles a creamy coffee, and not the ones you get down at Starbucks, a nasty little mix that kind of smells a little sweet, looks kind of tasty. You definitely wouldn't want to drink it, and it will crap up your engine real good. That's a scientific term for it. Moving on, though, this particular class of action lawsuit pertains to the variety of Ford Motor Company models built between 2007 and 2020. That's very important. And it's basically the ones that you saw on that Canada class action lawsuit. But let's check it out here. It includes the Ford Edge, Ford Explorer, Ford Flex, Fusion, Taurus, Lincoln MKT, Lincoln MKZ, and MKX. It was originally filed by the owner of a 2016 Ford Explorer whose water pump failed with just over 61,000 miles on the odometer due to a coolant leak. And that is not very many miles whatsoever. And it was reportedly forcing them to spend $2,000 for a new unit due to labor costs associated with the replacement, as it's located behind the timing cover and difficult to access. And of course it is. Yeah, and it's not an easy job. So that's all she wrote, guys. Thanks for watching. But more importantly, if you know somebody that has one of these Fords, please, please, please let them know about this, because this could be coming down the pike real soon, like Canada being certified as an actual class action lawsuit, and they could be getting some money reimbursed back to them because they deserve it. Or it could be you, and you deserve it too. So like I said again, thanks guys for watching this. Go ahead and comment down below and let me know about anything that you want to discuss about this topic. And as always, I will see you on the next video, and I love you. Peace.